It is now 7:40 and we will begin. So I will introduce myself once more. My name is Melvin Butuk. I am a student at the University of Nairobi, currently pursuing a degree in electrical and electronics engineering, final year student. And I also have the pleasure of serving as the chair of the IEEE student branch here at the University of Nairobi. For those of you who may know what IEEE student branches are, then fantastic. But if you don't, this meeting is for you. And if also you may not know what IEEE is, or you've heard about it and not engaged with it, or you've been afraid of the triple E, thinking it's only for electrical and electronics engineers, well, today we will try to answer all your questions regarding what IEEE is, how can it benefit you in your journey, both professional, technical, and personal. So I'd like to begin by just introducing the setup of IEEE and IEEE University of Nairobi and student branches for that matter. So IEEE is the world's largest professional organization, and you may have encountered it in one way, shape, or form. The way most people encounter IEEE is hearing about the standards that IEEE sets in the technical world space. So IEEE is responsible for quite a number of things, and thankfully, one of our guests here today will really expound on that aspect of IEEE. But I just wanted to begin by introducing the IEEE University of Nairobi student branch and what are the kind of things we've been doing, who's the team, and then also I'll introduce the wonderful guests that we have here today with us and what they can, each of them can give to this conversation. So an overview of the IEEE of Nairobi student branch. At least that is where many of you may have interacted with us at the student branch level, but IEEE goes beyond the student branch level. So our branch structure at the IEEE University of Nairobi is we have the branch itself, the IEEE University of Nairobi student branch, and we have a society and an affinity group. The society is the Robotics and Automation Society. Maybe on campus, you've gotten to engage with us on the Mastering Embedded Systems activities that we've been holding over the past year. And for the Women in Engineering Affinity Group, you may have interacted with us in the Engineering Her Legacy series. So these are just some photos of the kind of activities we've been having. But the thing is about IEEE is that it's not just limited to this. That's part of why this meeting is taking place, so that you can find out about the wealth of opportunities available in IEEE, the different technical communities, the societies, and the other affinity groups in which you can participate in at whatever level. So this is the team, the SB team, myself, Melvin Butuk, serving as the chair. We have Sherry Were as the vice chair.
Melvin, are you sharing your screen?
Yes, I am.
You can see.
Yeah.
Let me just confirm. Oh, okay. I just saw that there was an error. Let me try sharing. Okay. Thank you for that. I hope you can see it now.
Yes, thanks, Melvin.
Awesome, fantastic. So I was just giving an overview of the branch and the kinds of the team we have on board and the kinds of things we do as a student branch. So this was just the branch structure since you hadn't seen it. Then this is the team, myself as the chair, Sherry Were, vice chair, Anne Mahanu as the treasurer, Ryan Chironga as the secretary. And then we have Mark Ngugi and Mark Saruni as our webmasters. And last but not least, Daniel Obare, who's behind the organizing meeting account, serving as the organizing secretary. Then we have the Women in Engineering team, Sifa Kinoti as the chair, Ivy Karunjigi as the vice chair, and Tabi Mungai as the secretary. And lastly, the Lennox Kahati as the chair of the Robotics and Automation Society team, Cindy Wairimu as the vice chair, Daniel Mwangi as the organizing secretary. For those of you who managed to bump into any of us at the University of Nairobi, know that these people are willing to teach and to share what they have learned in IEEE. So, but that was just the tip of the iceberg regarding today's session. We just want to really appreciate the guests that we have on here today, who will be telling us a lot more about IEEE, how far IEEE has taken them, how much they have gained from their relationship with IEEE. So just starting from the top, we have Mr. Kithinji Muriungi, the chair of IEEE Kenya section, here with us today. And other than Kithinji, we have Mr. Alan Koech. He has served in many numerous societies, photonics being the major one, and also serving as circuits and systems vice chair. We also have, scroll down this list, it's quite long. I believe I had seen, she might have stepped out, or, oh yes, she's here. Valerie Chebet, the student representative of IEEE Kenya section. We are honored to have you. And thankfully, you will get to, as the attendees of this meeting, you will get to engage with these people. Once again, if at any point you ever have any questions, please post it on the chat, and then you will at least we hope to get that question and answer it as soon as we can. But for now, I'd like to welcome, of course, we have Richard Otieno as our past chair. We cannot forget to have Richard Otieno, past chair of the IEEE University of Nairobi Student Branch. And he's, of course, been a great advisor to us as we continue to organize activities on the student branch level and continue to coordinate with other student branches and to cooperate with them. So I'd like to welcome, and would you all join me in welcoming Mr. Kithinji Muriungi to tell us more about IEEE. What is IEEE? What is the technical strength? What is the technical powerhouse that is IEEE? And Mr. Kithinji, the floor is yours. As the chair of IEEE Kenya section, we are honored to have you.
Thank you very much, Melvin, and I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Perfect, thank you. So I've realized there's one thing we've done in most of the meetings that we've had, where if you're comfortable, you share you open up your camera so that at least even if it's a virtual space, we can see you, we can actually see we are engaging with someone. You know, in this age of AI, everything is possible. I can have something on the other side and it's doing the work I'm supposed to do. So so for me today, I have 10 minutes and I don't know how to use these 10 minutes, and I don't know even what to share. I don't know much of the dynamics, but I like to post a question here and I hope you can see it. So I am sharing a poll. Let me know if you can see it.
So I can see a pop-up that is requesting I install an add-on. So I think that is what you shared. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Poll.
So,
yeah.
So if it's possible, maybe I know it will take like 30 seconds or 1 minute. If maybe you can do that, it will. And then I can as we do that, I can be doing my introduction, because I want to see if the last 5 minutes I can really address very specific things that someone really wants to hear instead of me talking generally about everything that might not make sense to the 60 of us here. So other than that, maybe I can just go straight to my introduction quickly. My name is Kithinji Muriungi. I'm the current IEEE Chair Kenya section, and I'm 10 years, close to 10 years now in IEEE as an active volunteer. So a couple of things that maybe my journey started back in 2014, if I'm not wrong. And I got an invite from Sally and Humphrey and Gerald and some of the other volunteers who were there during that time. And I was invited to Strathmore for, they used to call it business pitch, engineering business competition, something like that. And most of the events used to happen in Strathmore. So I went there. That was the first event I ever attended, and then we came in as a pitch. We had this project we were working on with some guys from Moi University, and we came there just to do the pitch. And from that time, I remember Sally talking about her experience, how she was IEEE student, and then she managed to attend. She managed to go to Rome, and it was interesting. You know, some of us, we've only heard Rome from the Bible. And she was there sharing the insights and so much more other things. And from that point, we went back in Moi, back there, and then IEEE Expo came, came that year, and Humphrey reached out to us requesting us to organize. And we were three of us, myself, some guy, and some other guy. So that is how we did the first expo, three of us, and it was nice. We participated. Of course, it was much challenging because we thought it's kind of web development kind of stuff, only to realize it's more than that. It's more of data structures and algorithms and all that cool stuff, interesting stuff. And from there, again, we kept on discussing with Humphrey, and at some point, I think back in 2015, Humphrey now guided us on how we could come about and make a chapter and all that. At that time, there was no student branch in Kenya. There was no SB in Kenya. There was nothing at all. So it was just, there's something we used to call Kenya Student Branch. So it was like all the student branches aggregated in Kenya section. And they had a student representative and a student activity chair, something like that. So, and fast forward in 2018, around January, three of the petitions which were done were approved. Moi was the first one, JQuat was the second one, and then UON was the third one. All of them were approved around 2018, January, February, and March. And that's how the journey began. At that time, I was the chair in Moi. And maybe I'd like to mention something here quickly for the SECU and maybe other student branches, which they just petitioned their student branch within like five days or a week or maybe a month. For us, we took 2.5 years. We took 2.5 years of working every semester, every time. And that's how Moi actually came about. So it was a real journey. It was a hard kind of stuff, but I thank God everything went well. So from there, we moved on to, I became the student branch chair, the student representative, sorry. And then after that, now we championed all the activities. Masinde Muliro came about. We started reaching out to KU, JQuat, and all other student branches, and now here we are. So that's the basic about that. And from there, I went to YP. I became the YP chair for a couple of years, I think 2-3 years. I worked with one of the best teams, Child 2 and others. And then from there, I proceeded to becoming the chair. So I see my 5 minutes is over, so I can just go to quick responses here. So I have 2 responses. So why should someone who, okay. Let me see. Kindly explain all costs and fees associated with IEEE. Why should someone who is not taking electrical engineering join IEEE? What makes you love IEEE? What keeps you active considering you are a volunteer? So let me start with the first one, which was what makes you love IEEE? And I will talk about, I was to give a story, but because I have very few minutes, I will just say there's a concept called always start with why. And that's the deal breaker between volunteerism and IEEE. The deal breaker here is knowing your why. And I will give you an example. When we started IEEE back in Moi 10 years ago, I was the lead. I was the groundwork guy. I was the guy who did the dirty work. I was the guy who did the heavy work. I was the guy who did all sort of work. Why did I do all that? It's because for me, I never really wanted to go to a Kenyan university. I wanted to go to abroad. And when I failed to get that scholarship and found myself at the middle of nowhere in the villages of Tiret, I needed to make MIT out of Moi. I needed to make Moi a global university. I needed to make that village university, that cattle dip university, into a university that is known globally. I needed to make myself a global kind of engineer. I needed to make myself, I needed to hang around people who are thinkers, doers, and people who inspire me to feel as if I'm in MIT, Harvard, whatever, Purdue, whatever that global university, Yale's, Oxford, whatever that university you think of. So for me, it was not about, I just need to build this organization so that I can get a job or I can just become relevant in the university. And that's why some people who followed later, maybe who just wanted to, I just need to get into IEEE so that I can get a job. I just need to get into IEEE so that I can get to be known by people. You realize your why is kind of not solid. Your why is not grounding you well in IEEE. And so Sherry, thank you very much for that question. But I will always like, before even thinking of how you will join IEEE, how much you will pay, what you will do in IEEE, what you will volunteer, think about why you are joining that organization. And I will talk about three things. Network is very important. And if we are networking with you and if I feel as if you are just volunteering because you need to get something out of me and then leave, in most times people don't like to be cheated and people don't like to be lied to and people don't like to bank on people who are not trustworthy. And in that case, you will usually find yourself really, you will find yourself hard for people even to nominate you, for people even to bring you on board. And when they bring you on board, they actually see you as someone with an agenda. You just want to get this and then leave. You just want to become and then leave. You just want to get that seat, become the chair of the student branch, like replace Melvin, and then you become the chair so that you can put that in your CV. So for me, I think I was far beyond CV. I was far beyond jobs. I was far beyond, I just wanted to create an impact. I just wanted to make an impact. I just wanted to make the student experience better. So network is very important. Another thing is your why. I see my time is over. Melvin, I don't know whether I have some couple of more minutes just to wind up on this.
Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so I noticed I was trying to rush, but still the time is not, time is catching up in me. And that question, if you can answer the question of why, then you will know why IEEE is a great fit for you, why that network of IEEE is good for you. And if you're just someone who don't like sharing, if you're just someone who don't like maybe giving, if you're not someone who likes maybe being there for someone else, if you're someone who doesn't like serving others, then you might find IEEE volunteering will not fit you. If you are this kind of a person who is like, I just want to volunteer because I need to get something out of this, then it might become hard for you to grow in IEEE, especially if you are a student, because from student level to young professional to professional, those are the places where you move based on someone will call you to their committee, someone will invite you into their committees. And all these other voting things, voting happens in the lower level. When you get past that, the next big thing is for you to get invited. I've been invited in Photonics Global, where I'm serving right now as the Associate Vice President. I started in Kenya. I started in Moi, and right now I am managing the entire Globe Photonics chapter of 10,000 members. This year again, I was invited at the HTB board to join the board as an education member because of what I'm doing in Purdue and the kind of projects I've been able to do in Kenya. Again, I think most of us have seen the kind of project we've done in Kenya. If you want to succeed in IEEE, be a service leader, be someone who is ready to serve others, and be someone who wants the best for others as they want the best for themselves. Don't out of title. If you think you're someone who always serves because of a title, IEEE is not your place, because you realize the network we are in is a network of professionals, and it's a network of very, very, very busy people and very, very resourceful people. And such people are people of a different caliber. And such people need to see the best in you. They don't want to see you pretend. They don't want to see you really push boundaries where you are not able to do. So invest in your network and be be authentic. If there's one I can say here, be authentic, be you, and show the bad side of you, show the good side of you. But again, be professional, be authentic, be you. That is in terms of network. The second thing I will talk about, the love of IEEE and what keeps me active, is the value that I provide. Sometimes, if you are a student, you always think of, I need to join this network because I need to get a job. I need to join this network because I need someone to mentor me. But reverse it. Right now, Melvin, if you are the final year student, you want to be mentored by a professional, but you also have a responsibility to mentor fourth years, third years, and first years, and those kids who are still in the high school where you went to, and those kids who are in the primary school where you went to. So always look, have a vertical kind of vision where you always know a mentor is on top of you, a mentor to someone else. So that is value. So IEEE, if you're not providing value to the community, you will realize you are not adding so much into your bucket. But if you are providing value, if you are getting mentorship, you also need to mentor. If you are getting network support, you also need to provide network support. If you are getting nominated up there, you also need to nominate other people. If you are getting guidance from other people, you also need to guide others. So, and that is the deal breaker again in IEEE. And that is the deal breaker between volunteers. And that is the deal breaker between even the networks that will give you jobs, internships, refer you to some graduate studies and other things. The last thing I will talk about is about results. And I will talk about this from a very political angle. So many of us, especially in schools, we like to get into ESSA kind of things. What is Engineering Student Association? We like to get there because of the political influence you have and the power you have, but in most cases, it's just the political influence, and it makes you feel good because you sit with the who's is who's. And in most cases, you end up doing nothing. And all you do is just debate, argue, and kind of point to the opposition. Oh, you know, I was supposed to do this, but Richard Otieno, as the chair, Richard Otieno is always the opposition guy. So in IEEE, you realize there is no that kind of shenanigans. In IEEE, it's about results. It's about results. So we will judge you based on the results you put in. We will judge you based on that project you received funding and how you executed that project. Otherwise, if you have a project to work on, there is no debate, there is no politics around it. You're supposed to do the work you're supposed to deliver, and that's it. So focus on those three. Be authentic in the way you interact with your network. Be someone of value. Don't always be the one taking. Be the one giving most of the time. And then the third thing, focus on results. Results sets you aside. Results are the things that will make you get nominations from student branch to Kenya section to region to African Council to the global IEEE community. Otherwise, up there, you don't have a chance of debating. You don't have a chance of politicizing everyone whom you know so that you can get nominated. No, up there is all about your results. That is what will get you up there. So I hope those three things summarizes Sherry's point, but also more importantly talks about any other thing that is related to that. The next question, and I will go to this quickly, is why should someone not taking electrical engineering join IEEE? I would like to use a good example here. We have Alan. Alan did biomedical engineering, but Alan is one of the best programmers, one of the best coders, one of the best geeks, nerd, and whatever you will call it that you will find in Kenya ecosystem. And Alan is not working in a biomedical firm today. Alan is working in Autodesk. And he's working in Autodesk as a technical developer kind of a guy. That is what IEEE is all about. IEEE is, again, it's not about the brand name. IEEE is not about, and all these big names you carry around. Oh, you know, I'm an electrical engineer, I'm a mechanical engineer, I am all these. Those are good titles. It's like titles, the way they define you, but those titles don't do the job. Those titles don't do nothing other than just branding you. It's like my name. My name is nothing more than a tag that is put on me. My name is Kithinji Muriungi. I have an English name. I can choose to use another different name, and I can even use Elias as an author. But all those things makes no difference to me. And if you glue yourself into the concept of I'm doing electrical engineering and I need to, like, you think in that narrow kind of ecosystem, you realize even in the professional world, it will be very, very, very hard for you to fit in. Again, I've just used Alan example. I will also give another example. In Moi, when I left Moi, and then the second chair was Mona. And that time we served with Hezi. Hezi is also here, one of the most awesome guys I've worked with. And after Mona, every other person who followed through were not from electrical department. We had Chris from manufacturing and industrial textile engineering. We had Samia from chemical engineering. And right now we have someone from computer science, not even in the School of Engineering. That should tell you something. Now, that is the high level. Now, if we look at the IEEE Technical Society, we have 39 technical society and I think 6-7 councils. So those 39 technical societies, they cut across everything from computer to chemical to manufacturing to mechatronics, everything is there. And then if we look at maybe a simple society like RAS is a cocktail of mechanical, electrical, everything. If we look at reliability and maybe architectural and all those other things, we have a society for that. So I think if you just look at IEEE on the surface and you don't want to do your research in terms of the technical societies and in terms of the value that you can add, you will say this is an engineering, this is an electrical organization, and I will not fit into that. Lastly, about the cost, explain all costs and fees associated with IEEE. IEEE has two costs. Number one is your membership fee in IEEE. As a student member, you're supposed to pay $27 per year. I think right now they are, if you are new, you're supposed to pay 13.5 or something like that, or 7. I'm not familiar with that figures right now, but that is what we used to pay. And then when you subscribe to a general IEEE membership, if now you want to become a member of, yes, $7 at the moment. Thank you, Sherry, for that. So that is, I think, for the new members who are coming in. If you now want to maybe become a member of CAS, RAS, photonics, and all that, now those are specific technical domain areas where you pay the amount for that society so that you can join that society. So those are the two membership. Otherwise, for young professional, you don't pay to become a YP. For site, you don't pay to join site. As a student member, you also don't pay to join Women in Engineering. And Women in Engineering is for everyone. So Melvin, I've taken 10 minutes extra, but I felt that would have been more appropriate for me to actually demystify and go deeper into that so that everyone really is able to understand the core foundation of those three questions that I got from the representatives. Back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kithinji. Everyone join me in appreciating the wisdom he has dropped on us for today. But yes, the things he's talked about are very true, especially the thing that resonates with me is that breakdown of you start with the why. That is very important. I think with even most of the things you can undertake as a budding professional, someone in school, even when you're out there in the field. What is the reason as to why you're doing something? Yes. So, asante sana, Mr. Muriungi. And I'm grateful for the breakdown that you did, even taking the question and making it a stronger question and answering it properly. That was fantastic. So at this moment in time, I'd like to welcome Sifa Kinoti of the IEEE University of Nairobi Women in Engineering. So we can hear a bit more about women in engineering. I think you just talked about it slightly at the end, and it would be good to hear from her and her team. Welcome,
Okay.
Sifa.
Thank you so much, Melvin. I hope I'm audible. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sifa Kinoti. I serve as the chair lady of WE. WE is Women in Engineering, affinity group at the University of Nairobi. So in a nutshell, WE is a global network of IEEE members and volunteers who are dedicated to promoting the causes of women in STEM. So that's basically bringing in more girls to pursue engineering and scientific fields, and also their retention and their mentorship in this field. So as Kidinji mentioned earlier, it's free. Once you join as an IEEE member, right now it's about $7. You can become a WE member for free. So that's one of the benefits. Two, it's open to everyone. It's not just open for women. So why should you consider joining? We have a couple of programs that usually run within the WE affinity group that strive to, again, promote the causes of women in STEM. We do certain programs such as high school outreach programs through an initiative called Try Engineering, where you can go to high schools and even primary schools and teach them about STEM and encourage them to join STEM. And also, while you're already within the university, you have access to a global network of mentors who are part of WE. So whether you're a Kenyan student and you want to learn from someone in Jamaica, United Kingdom, you have that network to learn from them and gain from them. And as Kithinji also mentioned, you pass it down. We also have peer-to-peer mentorship opportunities within WE, where we uplift one another as women in STEM. We also do a bit of technical work. We also have technical workshops and conferences that are usually held all around the world. And as part of WE, you have an opportunity to participate in these conferences. You can get sponsorships. You can take part in writing or contributing to the articles and the journals that are usually disbursed by WE. You can also get travel grants. You can get awards depending on the work that you do and how much effort you put into it. As Gideonji said, you have to be very, very intentional and you have to put your all into it. So as a member, you have so much to gain, so much to learn, but you also have to put your foot into it. We welcome you to join the University of Nairobi branch. So far, we have been doing a couple of events where we bring in mentors from within IEEE and also outside IEEE to guide us and mentor us as students, not just women students who are trying to figure out a career in STEM. We also partner and continue to partner with different organizations and different WE branches across Kenya, different universities. I saw people in the chat saying they're from different universities, so you could be having a WE branch. We could also participate as your N. So that's all about WE that I'd like to talk about tonight. I'll be sharing the link in the chat, so please feel free to go through the chat and to go to the link and to sign up to become a WE member. Karibuni sana, and thank you for the opportunity, Melvin.
Thank you very much, Sifa. And as Dan has iterated in the comment section, that it's not just for women, it's also, I'm also a member of WE myself, a proud member of WE. So now, on the theme of women in engineering, our next speaker is an exemplar of that, and she's the chair of the Power and Energy Society in Kenya section. I'd like you all to join me in welcoming Chaltu Marta. Chaltu, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I was trying to find my mic. Was this Melvin speaking?
Yes.
Good to see you again. I know it's been a minute, but always familiar, supportive voices of women in engineering. So thank you so much, Kinoti, as well, for this invite and for bringing all these people together so that we can see how to support and make the IEEE UN team be very vibrant. You've been a very supportive team, even in various activities that you're doing. So as Melvin has introduced, my name is Charles Marta. I'm part of the IEEE Kenya team and I'm also been a champion of PES. And I'm glad that we are here today to present to you what PES entails. Unfortunately, I'm just from the doctors actually, and we also have a summit that we've been planning for. So I wasn't able to put together something concrete in terms of presentation, but I do have a PPT somewhere in my portfolio that Kinoti I'll share with you, which has like very detailed breakdown in terms of past activities, what we've done in the past, and what we're looking to do for our present activities as well. I see Pius is on call as well. He's a very big champion of PES activities. So once I take you through the various activities in PES, Pius, feel free to jump on and also include some of the other, especially with the member-driven initiatives. I'd like you to take members through that once I'm through with my presentation. I'll make it very short. So just to mention, PES is Power and Energy Society. So PES is Power and Energy Society, and PES sets most of the, like 50% of standards when it comes to electrical and energy space. And we have one, I think the second largest body in IEEE. And just give me a second. Yes, and so like I was saying, PES is one of the largest societies, and this means for you joining in, you'll get opportunity to get a lot of network. I remember in PES Mini Power Africa in Kigali, we got an opportunity to engage with our past chair, who is called Jessica, and I was going through some career questioning, let me say, because you're in a space where it was making me feel as if having a lot of talents was not the best thing to have. But I remember having a discussion with her, and she told me she's currently a very high positioned person, like I think she's the CEO or something, of a utility company, one of the biggest utility companies in the US. And her career growth, actually, she was saying being in that position, the thing that has really helped her is being able to, having all those portfolios she's worked on. She's worked in finance, she's worked in energy, she's worked in different portfolios when it comes to the energy space. And she was saying now being a decision maker, you're able to support your team members better because you understand their language. So if there's a legal issue, she understands what that entails when it comes to the utility provisions that they do. So just to mention that kind of network you'll be getting, I know I'm not going to take you through how to become a PES member today. I just want to showcase to you what becoming part of this particular entity will mean for you. So it means, that kind, and it really sparked my confidence again to know that, hey, yes, it's okay to be multi-talented. And it's actually a powerful tool that I can be able to use within my career growth, as long as I'm able to really strategize that approach. Then when it comes to member, I think I'll let Pius handle the member activities, but I want to say, so annually we do have PES Day as one of the major events that we do across all the continents, all the OUs of PES. And for this year, Ian, I don't know if Ian is on this call. He's our country representative. Then we have ambassadors. I think the ambassador call has already closed. I'm not sure. I'm the current vice chair. I have, like I said, I have the summit going on as well. So things have been a bit here and there. But at least we have a very supportive team that's going around that. And activities for this year will be between 22nd to 24th of April. So if you have any engagements you want to set up to celebrate Peace Day, it's done annually. It started several years ago. And fortunately, last year, like even the 2 years before, we had Mercy Chelangat, who was actually the Peace Day chair globally. Last year, I was the communication and strategy chair globally. This year, I'm the vice chair. So as you can see with Kenya, we've really put the bar up there when it comes to our engagements and activities and being able to be recognized as champions for power and energy as well. So, and this year we are having Power Africa Conference. It's going to be in South Africa. We have Mercy is our chair for marketing committee. I was to come in as the vice chair, but because of the many items I have on my table, I've given the mantle over to our neighbor, Sudan. She's called Faye, so she'll be our vice chair for the same. But I want to welcome all of you to participate strongly even in Power Africa Conference. There is a paper student competition that's ongoing. The one for last year was won by a Kenyan. I don't remember his name vizuri, but I remember his presentation. We were taking photos shared to the groups. It was a very proud moment to see our students being recognized. You know, that means you're being recognized at a global level. So take opportunity of that power paper presentation that's ongoing. The opening is still on. And we want you to really participate and get the awareness and opportunities to really grow your careers. Because when you get into industry and say, I actually presented a paper in Power Africa, it really gives you that momentum also career-wise. And the network, again, I'll go back to the network of people you're able to engage. We say in the Power Africa community, we are a community, who really support each other. The people we actually currently doing business together because we met on these platforms. So take opportunity of these networks you build in this, in the IEEE community at large, but also IEEE gives us the opportunity to really specialize on the things that we want. So if power is your thing, make sure that you're able to strategize and really maximize the opportunities on there also. What else is remaining? Poleni, I just ran home to make this presentation, so I might be a bit out of breath, but yeah. And just to mention, so because, like I said, Peace Day is between 22nd to 24th of this of April, strictly because of the new governing board. So we'll have one of the topics, or at least areas that will focus during the workshop, be something that's going to be peace oriented. And Pius will take us through the masterclass that we are going to have during the same time, and which will take as one of the main activities that we are entailing for the Kenya chapter under Peace Day activities. And then because we have the IEEE Entrepreneurship East Africa Summit that is happening for the first time ever, and it's going to be following the workshop that the entrepreneurship workshop. So the entrepreneurship workshop is done annually across different countries. We've had it in Morocco last year, I attended. We've had it in South Africa, Tunisia, Rio, and it's actually usually handled by the Global Entrepreneurship Committee. So we put a new twist to it in that it's being done in Kenya for the first time. And the end of it, we are going to do a grand finale, which we are doing that entrepreneurship summit. And that entrepreneurship summit, we are going to hold it annually across different East African countries. As Rwanda have already raised their hand to host it next year, and hopefully Uganda the next ones. And then from there, we actually have support from the Global Entrepreneurship and HTB team to make it something that's going to be across Africa. Because actually, even with the competitions, we've had applications from, Cote d'Ivoire, from Nigeria, from Tunisia, from all over Africa. So we want to make it, we are starting with East Africa, but we want to make it an African activity because we want to create entrepreneurship spirit in Africa. And this cannot happen without each and every one of us participating and making it really creating that culture. I know Kitinji is our father in entrepreneurship in Kenya, and I'm glad that we started this with him, the entrepreneurship week activities some years ago. So let's keep that spirit going. I know once something is created, if we take it, and Kitinji says, if you take ownership of it and really grow it, then that's the only way you can make it to be, you know, something that will go down generations. And we say Kenya, we were the first ones to, you know, put this up into Africa. So asanteni sana. I'll let Pius very briefly mention what member-driven initiatives entails and how the members on here can take advantage of that. Thank you. I don't know, is Pius still on call? Melvin, I'll give it back to you. And then if he's still on call, he can very quickly tell us what that entails. Thank you very much, everyone. So back to you, Melvin.
Asante sana, Chaltu. Yes, Pius is still on.
That are there, and the terms and the restriction and the sample projects that have been done. And as I conclude, maybe to say I'm humbled to be presenting PES Kenya, in part of the PES Global Work Task Force, Workforce Committee. So looking forward to seeing your applications.
Thank you very much, Pius, and congratulations on presenting at the global level. So if possible, you can put the link for the MDI in the chat so that also whoever is in the meeting can interact with it even as the meeting goes along and even post-meeting. Asante sana. And now we will step into the next intermission. Now we are back to the University of Nairobi. We want to figure out the last society that we haven't talked about, the Robotics and Automation Society. I'd like to welcome Lennox Kahati, Chair of the Robotics and Automation Society at the University of Nairobi. Tell us more about the activities that they've been having. What is the goal and the vision of RAS, and what does the future look like? Lennox, welcome. It seems Lennox Kahati may not be in the meeting. He might have dropped off. We will circle back to the update on Robotics and Automation Society. But for now, I would like to welcome another one of our esteemed guests, Mr. Alan Koech, to tell us more about his experience with the Circuits and Systems Society, Photonics, and even as a YP. So, Alan, I'd like to welcome you to tell all of us more about your journey, and in these societies, what have you gained from them? What have you imparted to the students and the young professionals who've interacted with these societies in the Kenya section? Karibu sana, Alan. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Melvin. I think I didn't hear the first part. I just super clapping. I think my video just dropped. So just confirm if you can hear me clearly.
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear, Alan.
Oh, perfect. So hello, everyone. I think my introduction part was already done by the team. So I was actually tasked to share a bit about I think CAS Photonics and a bit of YP. And it's actually a very wide area which I didn't know how to actually handle it within a span of 20 minutes. So I'm just going to try my best to discuss about it. So I'm just sharing a screen. Just don't worry about the contents there. You can look at it. You cannot look at it. No problem. So let me start with CAS. So first and foremost, I think in full CAS means Circuits and System Society, and it's one of the. I think this is actually the 4th year of CAS being in Kenya specifically. And so I'm not going to be going into the background in terms of the theory. This presentation we're doing some time, some few months ago. So you might have content which is not relevant to today's topic. So basically just focus on IEEE CAS specifically. I think you've already discussed and talked about what's IEEE, so I'm not going to be delving into that. But CAS is one of the main societies that actually focuses specifically on the theory, analysis, design tools, and implementation of circuits and systems. I think all of us understand that we are in an area whereby we're talking about the fourth industrial revolution. We are doing so much of IoT, so much of embedded systems, so much of trying to make the world a smaller village. And in doing that, we know that we have to build solutions and technologies around that. And the best part of all these solutions and technologies usually entails having a circuit component somewhere there. So this is actually one of the core societies actually that's actually powering the current industrial revolution, the current industrial change. And so it's really important that we understand actually how to navigate around it. I think one of the biggest misconception we have with IEEE CAS is the same misconception we have with IEEE itself, whereby you have to be an electrical engineer for you to be a member of it, which is not true. For CAS, it actually allows you to be more wide because you're looking at the solution part, not actually the course part. So in this sense, you're trying to bring a specific field. Maybe if you're talking about building solutions, maybe for the agricultural sector. So for that specific sector, you're trying to utilize circuits and systems to build solutions, because this has the circuits part, which is now all those things that entail circuits, and then there's a system part, which is basically the interconnection between all these circuits to form a working system which can be utilized now as a solution. So circuits, CAS itself is very wide. So I might not really go into some of these other things, but actually one of the biggest things we are championing currently in Africa is doing upskilling people to understand different areas and entities of CAS itself, to try to bring out some exposure so that people can actually get and see what they can be able to do using this CAS skills they're learning. And then 3, trying to get to access some of these tools that maybe getting access to them is a bit of a tussle or a bit of a hard thing because maybe of the licensing costs or something like that. Or 2, maybe you can access them, but you don't know how to use them. So we're trying to see how can we partner in the industry to enable you to get some of these tools and learn how to use them and see actually the practical aspect part of it. I'll get many local partners as well as regional and global, and I'll be talking about this a bit later. So maybe in terms of what we are really trying to focus more, don't worry about the slides currently, is looking at how can we be able to push people to understand using the skills they have and then build solutions out of them. And now that's one of the biggest things we're pushing in, not just in Kenya itself, but CAS Africa. So there are many benefits of CAS. I think it rhymes with the benefits of IEEE itself, but still there are many things you can get to do. I talked earlier about upskilling, and CAS actually is doing a lot of things in terms of providing materials for you to either do self-learning, get some certifications, or just take part in getting some new knowledge, some new experiences, and also giving a platform whereby you can go to test some of these circuits solutions you're actually talking about. So this basically some pictures from I think last year going back. For this year, it's not actually included here. I do believe that. So will not really. I will just talk about them a brief. So maybe some of the things we have been working on as CAS currently. I think we've just in partnership with IEEE site, we've just concluded one of the Angaza Tumaini solar projects we're doing in Ngong. And it was actually a continuation of a project we're doing as CAS, which was computer installations and providing some digital platform for the kids for the children's home. So we partnered with site for this year to do some solar installations there and fixing some water issues which were there at the homestead. And so that's one of the things we've been doing. Currently, it's actually at the tail end. Secondly, I think most of us are aware, currently, which Kidinj was holding some time back. And that's when we're trying to really champion for photonics in Africa and across Africa as a region itself. So what's actually photonics? This is actually a very long presentation. I will not be going into each and every slide. I will just try to highlight, just giving you a pictorial view to see some of these things. So photonics has three things. Think about if you have light, how do you generate light? How do you propagate light? Propagation is basically transmission, and then three, how do you manipulate light? So most of the things we use nowadays in our current world, in our current environments, utilizes light. From that light in your house, because I think now it's night. For those of you who can go to see each other over this meeting, I know my camera is off, but for those who are able to see each other, you might be utilizing, you're actually utilizing photonics itself, because that's what's actually picking your images and sending over the internet. Most of you actually able to see my presentation currently because you're using either an OLED screen, either on your phone or your laptop, or any other technology you're using. Most of them actually utilize photonics because they're just trying to bend light here and there. So photonics basically in a summary, you just think about generation of light, transmission, and manipulation. As simple as that. And you know, one of the biggest things I think people have been asking me a lot is, where does photonics fit in the light body spectrum? And I usually tell people it's actually cuts across everything. Everything you might think about doing today, as I will be showing a bit of samples here and there, utilizes technology of photonics in one or the other. If you talk about telecommunication, if you talk about fiber optics, I think that's one what most of us we are familiar about. If you go into the medical side, if you talk about imaging. If you go into the industrial and mechanical side, if you talk about maybe laser welding and things like that. If you go into the defense side, you also have lesser weapons and much more. So it actually is a very versatile technology, or a scope of technology that actually we do use it quite a lot, whether we're knowing or unknowingly. We like taking pictures. That's actually part of photonics. We use lights, we use all these kind of things. So it cuts across many different kind of areas. And maybe looking at a bit of application so that you can be able to relate some of these things. If you're okay, I've talked about fiber optics, which is actually communication, not just over and undersea. I think also in most of the heavy data, if you want to transmit a lot of heavy data, then most of us like using fiber optics because it's actually more reliable. I think if you are using a home fiber, there's a chance that there's a fiber optic cable either to your place or to a nearby place. Then we now get maybe a copper wire now to your house. So it's actually one of the technologies we use a lot, even to communicate and do most of the things we are talking about today. We like watching Rambo movies. For those of us who are born back in the days, we understand that we normally like seeing those night vision goggles being used. Basically, they're just basically doing bending light and just manipulating light to be able to enable you to see some of these things at night. It's all about light, as simple as that. So you might think about any automobiles, any military gear, all those kind of things. They all utilize photonics to be able to give you that kind of an output or information for you to now do an action about it. In the medical side, we have a lot of things. Most of the imaging we have in the medical scope utilizes photonics in one or the other. For those of us who have been admitted or actually just going to check up, usually have that pulse or oximeter on your hand, which measures your heartbeats and all those kind of stuff. That utilizes actually light, because usually it sends an IR and a red light into your through your finger and measures the refraction or actually the reflection, depending on the technology being used by that specific sensor. If you go into the things like PET, which is actually positron emission tomography, it uses light basically to try and scan your body. Mostly you can use it for maybe to see some of the things in your brain or actually some other deep tissues in your body. So instead of cutting you open to check part of your body, I think we understand that we can use all these things actually without actually opening you up. So MRIs, fMRIs, FNIRS, all those kind of solutions actually utilizes photonics to bring you that kind of an endpoint. We have also sensors, a lot of them utilizes photonics. So if you talk about most of the places, if you're talking about even in the industrial and mechanical part where you're doing, you're trying to see if the components being manufactured are actually cut into, you're trying to do things like CNC and things like that. You want to check is the surface of this material is actually very fine to some. Usually have those scales whereby you say this limit whereby you want to have this kind of fineness. You can most actually use technology, photonics technology, to scan the surfaces, and to actually give you some of the feedback about how the surface is, things like that. There are many things that photonics actually does. Even in the current era, we are talking about the quantum technologies. Photonics actually widely used in them. You can actually check about some of these things because it plays a very big role. Reason being, light travels faster. So people actually utilizes it to do most of this kind of stuff. I think lately you've been talking about a Li-Fi. Li-Fi is actually light fidelity. It's a wireless communication which actually uses light to transmit data. So basically, think about having a bulb in your house that provides you light as well as helps you do communication. So it's still it's a technology that's actually still evolving here and there. But in the next couple of years, you should be able to look at this and actually get to use it more widely. There are many other areas of photonics usage. So just think about everywhere you are today, you're utilizing photonics, and that's why you should be part of the photonics community trying to advance this kind of a technology in your specific industry. Think about if you're in civil, there are many ways actually photonics is being used. If you're in mechanical, you are in aerospace, we use photonics all across. So how can you learn this technology and see how to apply it now in that specific field, or trying to understand how photonics is being applied in your specific field, because it's actually being used. So all of you are welcome to join photonics. It's actually very open, whereby you allow you to think about what can you do with some of these technologies. If it's not currently being applied in your specific field, there are many ways to apply it. So what can you what ideas do you have in mind to be able to build and see how to use photonics in that specific field? So there are many things, of course, about that. So maybe lastly, just to highlight one or two things, because I think my time's almost up. To highlight a few things about YP, or maybe before I go there, some of the activity you're doing as photonics. I think we just concluded 2 months ago. We did an industrial visit to the lab in MMU, the photonics optical lab in MMU. However, I think the team actually went through some of the optics trainings to understand how to use some of these technologies, how they work, and how to manipulate, bend light, all this kind of stuff. With that knowledge, now you can understand how photonics work, how things like cameras work, because that knowledge now you can be able now to utilize it in building solutions and bringing up new ideas that can be able to revolutionize the current world we live in. Similarly, we still have plans to be able to do more training this year. We are so much strong into upskilling, and that's actually why personally I'm so strong about it. How can we do to help people to get upskilled, get new skills, and now then can they use that skill specifically to either better their lives or actually help more people in building solutions? Because yes, in as much as we are expecting to buy equipment, but the next few years we need to be able to build our own, which is specific to our needs. So we are trying to see how can we be able to give you more upskilling, more opportunities for you to learn, to test and try new things here and there in photonics. And then maybe now look at how can we apply that knowledge now in terms of building solutions for the current world in which we live in. Yes, I think for those of you who were there last year in the African, we had a photonics track on the pre-session day, whole day where we talked about most of these things around photonics. It was a full day training, touching into lessons with some people actually in the industry who are actually using it, showing you how to apply it, how to use it, how to get to know about some of these things even more. And currently, those things we already have partners. We have been working with them for the past couple of years, helping us in some of these things, doing trainings or things like that. So, whenever maybe you're interested to venture in some of these areas and maybe you're stuck somewhere, feel free to reach out. We can help you, we can advise to get you started. But similarly, in the Kenya chapter, we have our plans in place to ensure that we continue some of these training, some of this upskilling that we already begun, so that at least at the end of the day, our members get to learn new things and benefit out of them. So all of you are welcome to photonics, and I think it will be one of the places whereby you really enjoy your membership and see how you can now apply knowledge from photonics to maybe the other societies you'll be part of. Yeah. Lastly, about young professionals, YP. I think most of you who are IEEE members must have about IEEE when you're students. And you know, mostly when you're a student, there are things that happen. You find that if you're not an active volunteer, you just see events happening. So one of the best ways is that YP comes in as a transition phase between you being a student and then you being a professional member. So it's a phase in between there, whereby you're still in your early phase career as a fresh graduate from campus, and maybe you're still, or you're in the industry, but you're still within maybe around the first 10 of your first 10 years of your career phase. So it's a place whereby you're trying to discover more things about yourself, more things about the industry, trying to gain connects here and there, how to navigate through careers. Of course, you've also always been told that the industry is way different from the academia side. You come in the industry and you find everything is quite different from what you're taught in class. So YP is now in between. You're trying to help you with some of these things because you're trying to discover working in the corporate area. You've been used to being a student. So you have a community that actually understands what you're going through. We can help you grow together, sharing opportunities, having networking place whereby you can get new. For those who are looking for jobs, of course, it's a good place to take part in. So YP can help you in very many ways, and you can even go to the YP website. They usually share many resources about opportunities, workshops, seminars that actually are ongoing that you can take part in to better yourself, sharpen your skills, prepare yourself now for that job you have been eyeing, or sharpen your skills to build a solution that you can now apply in building something that actually can benefit other people. I'll not go much beyond there. So maybe something I forgot about cars. I think I talked about upskilling in cars also, and uh, we did share some open calls. I think it was the end of last year for people to join the IEEE cars design competition. We had a couple of who shared interest. I think we had almost 6 teams from Kenya that actually took part in the cars design competition from Kenya. Yeah, we did the regional competitions. We did the Kenyan competition first. Then we did the regional competition, and the region is actually region 8. That's Africa, Middle East, and Asia. And out of that, I think we have one team actually which is proceeding to the global competition, the finals competition, which will be held, I think, next month, or actually 2 months from today. So it's actually a good opportunity because through thinking about how can I build a solution that affects people around me, and how can I pitch that idea to other people, and have a prototype actually that shows that that thing is actually viable. You can go to bring that small, as Kidinja was saying, the Catholic University. You can bring that a problem from that Catholic place you live that place you live in, where you come from. Think about how can I apply technology to build that solution, and then build a prototype that actually addresses that specific problem, and pitch it to people who have never seen the problem before. And they'll be able now to say, okay, we really think your idea is really great. So that's the process about the cast design competition. There are very many prizes to be won. I think $500,000 Kenya shillings per team for the winners, plus full conference attendance for ISCAS 2024, and much more. So also towards the end of this year, we'll be having the next call for the next cast design competition. So when you hear some of these things, even if you're not sure about it, it's good just to inquire about it, because I think we did hold a couple of info sessions for people to try and understand what it's all about. And for those who joined and we got to learn a bit of them, I think most of them actually did participate in the competition. So there are many opportunities actually offered all across from CAS, Photonics, and YP. For those who just finished campus, feel free to join YP. But as Kirinji said, ask yourself, why are you joining before you join? And once you understand why you're joining, then join and take part actively in terms of building yourself and also building people around you. I think with that, we'll return the mantle back to you, Melvin. If there's any question, I'm going to respond to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. And guys, just join me in thanking him for there are quite a number of things that is talked about regarding CAS, regarding photonics, regarding YP, each of them very pertinent to many of us. For instance, for YP, those of us who are in our final year, we begin evaluating what is the next step and how can we make this transition from students to young professionals. And for those still in school, and also for us who are about to graduate, we also need to think about, as Alan has talked about, designing and innovating for the problems that we have in our communities. Even if there are problems out there that we can use, yes, true, but there will come a time we need to create solutions for our personal situations, for adopted to the Kenyan setup, and so on. So design. Yes. So thank you very much, Alan. I would now like to welcome another one of our esteemed guests, a very good friend of mine who I met through IEEE, and the chair of the Microwave Theory and Technology Society, Dennis Kemboi. Dennis, please, and everyone join me in welcoming Dennis. Tell us more about MTTS, to tell us more about IEEE site, and also about his journey along the way, because that is very important. So, Dennis, over to you.
Hi everyone. Melvin, you can hear me?
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
Hi everyone. I know time is so far much spent, so I will not be redundant. I will be as quick as possible. So my name is Dennis. I'm representing MTTS. This is a new society in this Kenya chapter. Let's see what it is about. So MTTS basically focuses on, I will just give a brief. So Alan talks about a focus on circuits and systems. This is on the end device of the customer. But what MTTS focuses on is like delivering the connections or communications via guided wave and wireless technologies. And particularly, we have various spectrums of the electromagnetic spectrum, and MTTS focuses on those in the millimeter waves. Those are the high frequency, small bandwidth, and the terahertz, which are like the higher frequency, and then the smaller bandwidth. And then it focuses on aspects of like development of materials, components, devices, and systems that will enable communication, either through modulation or demodulation. For those that have done digital systems, these should be things that are familiar. Some membership benefits for MTTS include technical journals, which are delivered through e-newsletters, through what we call the transactions for microwave theory and techniques, and then finally through what we call IEEE microwave wireless component letters. So through these technical content, you can get inspiration to get into radio frequency, RF, and many other things. Benefit number 2 for you is career development, professional networking. So at the technical chapter level and at the student branch level, we have what we call distinguished microwave lectures. I'll talk about that shortly. We also have membership being served through the YP. Graduates of the last decade is what is called YP, life membership, and IEEE fellow. I'd like to note here that IEEE MTTS is one of the societies with the biggest number of fellow members. So these are members who became senior members, then to fellow, then to life members, and then to fellow members. So quite an interesting area. And then having been one of those pioneering societies of IEEE, then serves in that manner. And then career development, number 2 is that it offers technical conferences. This cuts across all IEEE societies. Here I'll highlight one conference that I attended. It's called IEEE Microwave and Antenna Conference, flagship conference for Africa. That was happening in Egypt. This is last year. In the conference, there were over 40. There were over like about 100 publications, and got a lot of inspiration from the guest speakers. Number 3, IEEE MTTS offers scholarships. One among the 3 societies of IEEE that offers scholarships. and particularly for undergrad students. So if you're here an undergrad student and are interested in a scholarship that can support your studies, then this is definitely the home for you. One is currently running, so you can go and check it out. IEEE MTTS undergraduate scholarship. Next slide. I'd like to talk about so I talked about the society being just newly formed. We have about 32 members. We have 15 student members. So I'd like to encourage some of us to come around. We recently had a meeting at CA, at Communication Authority, and we had about 5 students from IEEE UN. So it was a good plus, and I know they're currently working to form a student chapter. What I'd like to talk here is about what plans we have for the year, so that you can plug in. So we brought industry visit to the first quarter. So we had it this past quarter, and then you're having a distinguished lecture sometime in May, and then you're organizing a summer school in Tanzania around August, and then you're going to have an Africa initiatives where we have some of the senior MTTS officials joining us in Africa. This is during the last quarter. Okay, that's it for MTTS. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us on WhatsApp. I'll share this slide so that you can join the group. Allow me then to jump right to the next presentation. Okay, so we have IEEE site. Most of us know about site, and I'm happy that UN is also leading the pack in terms of site, because we have a petition for a site student group that is currently ongoing. SIFA was leading that with Melvin, and I believe that progress is going to be updated soon. So I also chair Site Group Kenya. Under site, normally we have various groups with various programs that are organized by the group itself, and then we have fundings that are usually available for volunteers, IEEE volunteers, to implement different projects. At the Kenya level, we have had about 5 projects being implemented in the last year. Projects included the Kisima Jangoni project. I know Kistenji talked about these. The Empowered Solar for in Muluti. This was in Kitui, implemented by Sally. There was also currently there are several projects being implemented, including one in a place called Obaro that is in southwest Nyanza. There's also another one called Ngamwa in central Kenya. This is in Nyeri, etc. So those are programs implemented by individuals, but they get funds to implement those projects from IEEE Humanitarian Technologies Board, the one that covers IEEE site. But what about the activities organized by Site Kenya itself? So for Site Kenya, we try and give information or what we call empowerment for our members to know about opportunities available through HTB, and then how they can put together proposals, best practices, and take them through the journey of implementing projects. So then how we do that is through what we had some of the projects. These are some of the projects that are being done currently. We have Obaro, this being done in Southwest Nyanza. I talked about Gamwa in central Kenya. We have Kakuma, connecting the unconnected. So there's a volunteer who's working on bringing internet to Kakuma refugee camp, and the project is currently ongoing. Angaza, that was done by Alan. We have one that was done by Dexima Jangwani, and then there's also one being done in Aberdare. It's called Henny Wind. I'd like to talk about programs we have for the year. Where it is. Yeah, so for 2024 activities, we are done with the first quarter. We had, during the first quarter, we had a cross-sectional meeting. This was not, we had planned to be in Uganda, but we brought it locally, where we had the HTB chair, Herbert Loga, joining us for an information session. So he took us through some of the opportunities available through HTB, not just site. There's so many other programs, including EPICS and many others. And it also talked about a flagship conference of HTB. This is called the Global Humanitarian Technologies Conference. So on this, I'd like to say, so normally we have volunteers being given money to implement projects. So what then IEEE thought was to empower these people who have done projects to put together papers on those projects and then present them in a HTB only focused conference. So the conference is a flagship. The first edition happened last year. So for this year, we're going to have it around December. So here locally in Kenya, we are planning to do, or it is our target to have information sessions on the conference so that we empower those that have implemented projects or those that have done even other humanitarian projects that do not have necessarily IEEE support to, and then prepare papers around them. So we had a first information session in the first quarter. We are going to have another one in the second quarter, as you can see. During the second quarter, we're also going to have a site week celebration, like I've talked about, and then we are doing a lot of student outreach. So I believe sometime during the year, we're going to have a session with the student leadership at the university to talk about site project implementations. And then finally, for the third quarter, we're going to have meetups. This is going to be in collaboration with the summer school that I talked about. And then in the fourth quarter, we're hopefully going to have a few representatives at the GHTC. So that is the vision for the site group game. Other than that, my personal journey in IEEE has been one of success, but I have also had a lot of input, and I know Kitin just talked a lot about that. I also took a lot of inspiration from him, and I believe that I can also leave you with that word to put in a lot of effort, and definitely it will pay out along the way. So thank you. Back to you, Mel.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Yes, and ultimately, it's about the journey that we all take in IEEE, and we are very much interested in the stuff we've been doing with site and the stuff you have planned with MTTS. Ultimately, this session is to more or less show everyone all the different opportunities around, from one society to the next, from one affinity group to the next. Yes, so thank you very much, Dennis, for the wonderful presentations and for giving us a glimpse at what is to come. We hope that many of us can join in, and to join in with keen interest on actually advancing that space. So to wrap up, we want to circle back to University of Nairobi, and I'd like to welcome Lennox Kahati to tell us about the Robotics and Automation Society, what they have been planning at the student branch level, and just to give us a glimpse at also what is the Robotics and Automation Society all about. This meeting is to give people that awareness of IEEE and the many facets that it has. So Lennox.
Okay. Thank you, Melvin. Yeah, so Lennox, the Robotics and Automation Chairperson, University of Nairobi. So robotics, it's all about, I'll just use this acronym PCB, which means projects and coding base. So like it comprises of projects, programming, and projects and programming. So projects are not limited to robotics, but many other projects like AI-based and more. Other than and more projects that you can think of. So why should one join Robotics and Automation Society? So being a RAS member gives you an opportunity to explore the rewards that you can find, first of all, from IEEE, because being a RAS member, it means that you are a member of the larger branch of IEEE. So there are so many benefits, as you have heard, that you are going to enjoy from IEEE. And then majorly you will have the opportunity to do projects, share knowledge and learn from others, and interact with like-minded people. For you know that it's a it's a good for you to interact with like-minded people. Like it's such a awesome platform for you to grow and to be able to do things and get motivated, because having like-minded people around you, you'll be always be motivated. And then for those who are learning about doing projects, maybe it's for their first time, this is a great opportunity to be guided on how to come up with projects and how to progress and making projects a success. About our events, we're actually resuming our weekly events as of next Wednesday. Just a hint of what we're going to do from next Wednesday onwards. We're going to do projects based on Raspberry Pi, and come join us and you'll learn more about Raspberry Pi and the project that can be done using Raspberry Pi. About last semester, we had similar events. We were doing a robotica and many benefited from it. In addition to the robotica sessions, for those who are there, we gave many people a chance to present their personal projects, and as a result, they are able to get feedback from people. And in most cases, the feedback was comprised of ideas on how to make improvements to the projects and better ways on how they could have done the project. And maybe some people got some guidance from others, so like they are being mentored by people who are ahead of them and maybe who had more understanding of that particular field. So our ultimate goal as Robotics and Automation Society, we want to bring people who will be all-round engineers by getting experience of doing real-world projects, even while in school. It's a great exploration because you don't have to get outside school so that you can do projects, but you can do projects as early as first year. And by the time you are getting to fifth year, you'll have that all experience. Even when they ask for a 5-year experience outside there, you can proudly say that I can do this because I have the experience. I've been involved in projects since first year. In conclusion, RAS is here to help you do real-world engineering projects while still in school. Come and build your confidence in doing projects and make great contributions to the society. Yeah, thank you. Unless there are questions, I'm done.
Thank you very much, Lennox. So allow me to to wrap all of this up in a tight little bow in terms of all the things that we have heard of today. We've heard from Kithinji, we've heard from Chaltu, we've heard from Alan and Pius and Dennis, and the idea is, I think with IEEE, it's even in the motto that they have for advancing technology for humanity. Ultimately, that is the end goal for us to use these skills that we gain as Alan talked about upskilling. We need to be able to upskill, to gain that confidence, as Lennox has also talked about, and then to do those projects like similar to the ones being done by site, to attend the conferences like those of PES. And we also have to remember that all of this is tied together by service to the society, to the community, to the people around you. So it can be at any level. It can be with the people in school, can be with the people at home. What ways can we build each other up and ensure that we put things in place to serve, and to ensure that there is a constant flow of information from one generation to the next, that people are able to build things together and they are lasting and they're sustainable. So I hope you've all learned something. Of course, there's always something each and every one of us can take home from all the different presentations and talks we've had from all these different people today. There is always that one thing. My challenge to you is figure out what is that one thing that you'd like to go home with today. What is that thing you'd like to carry out into the world tomorrow and in the weeks ahead that you have learned here? I hope you all feel now that IEEE, as Pius had mentioned, is a family. It is one big, gigantic family. There are different societies and there are different places in which you can fit in, and you can fill a space, be it as a volunteer, be it as someone who is engaging with the activities. Let me tie back into what Kithinji said in the beginning. Figure out the why. Figure out the why. And once that is in place, you can do many things. You can do wondrous things. So I'd like to thank Kithinji, Muriungi, Charles Marta, Alan Koech, who's still here with us, Pius Kariuki also, who's here with us, and Dennis Kemboy and Valerie Chebet from IEEE Kenya section, who took the time to be with us today to shine a light on what IEEE is, what is IEEE doing in Kenya, and what is your place in IEEE, be it as a professional or as a student, or someone who's not sure about what is the value of IEEE. We hope that as you continue to engage with IEEE in the section, be it at the student branch level or at the section chapter level, you can see the value of IEEE. You can take that step towards actually even volunteering, to giving back, to actually implementing things, designing things, building things. And hopefully all of this you can do for the benefit of the community you find yourself in. And who knows, you can inspire the next generation of people who come after you, who take up that mantle and continue the work you've put in place. And that is all we strive for, and that is all we should actually strive for, to ensure that there's that continual motion. So I thank you all, our guests, and to all of you, the participants of this session, for taking the time, 2 hours roughly of your Thursday evening, to join us to learn more about IEEE. We hope you can engage with us at any of the levels. If you at least now you're aware of some of the people within. If you bump into them on the streets of Nairobi or on the streets of Eldoret or wherever, feel free to reach out, feel free to talk. And for us at UON, know that our doors are always open. Know that we have more in store for you in terms of even the societies that we're bringing up, the different places that you can find and you can feel at home. So asante sana. And lastly, if you wish to join, if you're a University of Nairobi student and you wish to join the IEEE student branch, well, of course, Kithinji had mentioned in the beginning that there's the student registration that currently is $7, I believe, as Sherry had mentioned. But what we really want is the impact that you have from engaging with our activities. So come along, join us for the activities that we have for the rest of this semester. And I hope we will deliver the value that you're looking for. And from there, we can be a door to other avenues in IEEE. Asante sana, and I wish you all a wonderful evening and a wonderful week ahead. Until we meet again, I wish you all the best, and do join IEEE whenever you can, however you can. And yes, we need an MTTS UON. Yeah, that is on the way. That is on the way, actually. The proposal is, I believe, has been formed, and all these things are interest-based, based on the interests of the students, based on the interests of the participant, and that is how they grow and how that's how they are nurtured. So Samuel, that is, you're in safe hands. You're in safe hands. So thank you all for joining us. I wish you a wonderful evening and good night.